So I'm delighted to sit with you, Liesl, today to talk a little bit about what programs we have been devising and reimagining the graduate business education in the last year. I know we started with this whole concept of really focusing on lifelong education and lifelong learning as the markets were telling us that that's something important. But what have you noticed in terms of what the students are demanding today?
I think it's really fascinating. We have a very different type of student walking through the door today. In fact, it's really three different types of students seeking graduate business education. Some are what I would call more pre-experienced students. These are those that are still in their undergraduate program or maybe have been out a couple of years, and they realize that even for entry-level jobs, employers are really seeking more technical or specialized skills. So they want to come back to graduate business school in order to get those skills. But then we see folks coming through the door that are even further along in their career, but their main goal is to switch industries, right? They're in one industry now, they want to be something else, and they're going to use graduate business education as their way of retooling for that. But then what's really fascinating is that in this market today, we are seeing folks that we would never used to see come through our door seeking graduate business education, but that they want something now more than just what they can get in executive education, but maybe a little bit less than what they would get in a degree program. They're further along in their careers, but they realize they need to reskill and upskill for today's ever-changing market.
And that may have a lot to do with, I've heard so many times that the new 65 is the old 50. People are living longer, they need to retool, they work longer, and that may have something to do with it. So we have all these disparate interests here. How have we responded? How do you respond in terms of programs that would be able to satisfy so many different audiences?
Well, I think that's been the most exciting part of this entire experience, is really bringing together our corporate collaborative council, our alumni networks, and as well as our faculty to kind of sit there and say, what can we do to help those folks really get ready for the new marketplace? And that's really where we sat down and we said, all right, let's clear the decks and say, here are the courses that we can offer. How can we stack the courses in meaningful ways to be more market responsive at various different levels of someone's career? And that's where we came up with this idea of graduate certificates. Graduate certificates are around 4 courses, so around 12 credit hours, and they usually consist of a mix of some theory, some tools, and some applied experiences, but that allow an individual to kind of go deep in a given area. And we have, as I mentioned, 24, everything from accounting and artificial intelligence all the way down to walkable urban real estate. So sort of more general types of graduate certificates and those that are much more specific.
So these certificates sound very interesting, of course. Is it possible for folks to come in and take a certificate and dip their toe into a degree program? Can these be applied towards a degree afterwards?
Yeah, that's what's so flexible, I think, about thinking now down at the graduate certificate level, because anyone throughout their sort of career can come in and get a certificate by itself and just, as I said, do 4 courses. But then they can also use that graduate certificate and apply it toward a Master's of Science degree or an MBA. They can also now even combine 2 of them together, so 2 certificates together plus some extra electives, and call it a Master in Interdisciplinary Business Studies.
Well, that's very exciting. And I love this modular approach because I think it makes us more agile. It makes us more responsive to the marketplace, because I don't know, and I don't know anybody knows on 5 years from now or 10 years from now what that graduate business education the demands on that will be.
Mm-hmm.
But in this model, you could change a course or change a certificate, and it changes the tenure of what the tone of what the degree would be, and be responsive to the marketplace.
Exactly.
So that's great. So with all of this done, is it fair to say that at this point we can claim that we are the most customizable and most flexible program for graduate business programs anywhere in the world?
Well, absolutely. And I'd add another word, accessible as well, because I think in order to really be market responsive, we need to do more than just think about what it is students need to learn and how they need to learn it, but where they need to learn it as well. And so we are working to bring half of these graduate certificates available online this year, along with our many different online degree programs, but then to grow that so that all of this is available online to anyone in the world.
Well, that's a lot of innovation that our faculty have delivered this year. So let me ask you, what innovation are we doing in reimagining graduate education next year?
Oh, you just wait. We've got a lot up our sleeve.